Hope everyone's doing well. This is Jay from J&D's Retirement Journey. Today we're going to see how the top funds are doing year to date. We're going to compare Vanguard S&P 500 ETF VU, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF SCHD, and the Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund SWWPX. These funds are great funds for beginners, especially the S&P 500. I own all three, so anyone could get into these funds. They're pretty good, well-managed funds. If you're enjoying this type of content, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, and it'll really help out the channel. All this information is right off the Charles Schwab website. Any broker's website, you could get this information. Do your research. I am not a financial planner. Talk with your financial planner before you invest in anything. We're going to start off with the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF VU. It closed at $476.49. It was up $5. The 52-week range is 371 to 483. As we go over to the year-to-date chart, it's doing really, really well. It's up almost $40, 9%. The expense ratio is pretty low, 0.03. This fund has been around about for 14 years. It was established 2010. It's a pretty big fund, 1069.6 billion, 508 holdings. And as we go over to the top 10 holdings, you got Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Google, Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet, Eli Lilly, and Broadcom. And they make up 32% of the holdings. As we shoot over to my favorite subject, the dividends. They pay quarterly. We just got a dividend for $1.54, and it works out to a distribution yield of 1.36. What is Morningstar saying? It has it rated top 5-star overall rating, 4 and 5 stars. It's a great fund, historic high return, and the average risk, which is great, guys. The Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF SCHD closed at 79. It was up 28 cents. The 52-week range is 66 to about 80. Year to date, it's up 3.78, 2.88 on the dollars. As we go into the fund profile, the expense ratio is 0.06. It's been around since 2011, so we're working on 13 years. Total assets, 56.5 billion, holdings 104. As we go over to the actual holdings, you have Verizon, Chevron, Lockheed Martin, Texas Instruments, Bristol Myers Squibb, PepsiCo, UPS, Cisco Systems, Pfizer, and Coca-Cola. And as we go over to the distribution, this is my favorite subject here, the yields. The dividends, 0.61. It just paid a dividend last month. It pays quarterly, and the yield is 3.31. Morningstar has this rated, I guess, a 4 and 5 star. You got 1 2-year, a 3-year rating for 2, which is bad, but everything else is 4 and 5s. Historic average return and below risk. The Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund, SWWPX, closed at 80.05. 52-week range of 62 to 80. The net expense ratio is 0.02. It's a tiny bit less than VU. Year-to-date return, 8.3. And the distribution yield is 1.3, you could say. Oh, the difference between this and VU, you could invest $1 with VU. You have to buy a whole share, which is like almost $500. As we go into the growth of a $10,000 investment for this year, you could see you would have made a little bit over 10% actually, because if you invested $10,000 in a few months, you would have over 11. As we go over to the top 10 holdings, you have Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, Berkshire, Google, Eli Lilly, and Broadcom, and they make 32% of the portfolio there. The distribution yield pays 1.04 and it pays annually. The distribution yield is 1.29 compared to who it pays quarterly. But at the end, I did the numbers. I did a video. It works out to the same. I'm going to leave a link to that video. Morningstar has this rated 4 stars right down the line. Return is high and the risk is average, which is great. In my opinion, guys, if you're starting out, if you're a beginner, you can't go wrong with any of the S&P 500 funds. And if you want more diversification down the road, then you can add in the SCHD. Good luck, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe. Thanks again.